I tell y'all what's on my mind?
It's your brother.
Can I get a couple of things off my chest?
Friend, but it can't be your son. It's your kinfolk, William Jewell. Giving you my detail as I'm articulating. This is articulating rap. How y'all doing? If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn the notifications on so you can get all the new posts, all the new content when I release it. Right? And something else was released this week, this July 4th week. And I know the symbolism of July 4th. I know the symbolism of Independence Day. I know the comparison of Drake being a colonizer and how the settlers use the town folk to get richer. I know why Kendrick released this song, this music video to Not Like Us on July 4th. And I mean, if we gonna be honest, Kendrick is still trolling. Because we just go back to the no, not this time. And I know a lot of people think it's going too far. It's going to the extreme. And I know, we're starting to feel sorry for Drake. We're starting to feel his embarrassment because every time, Kendrick executes a music video, every time he executes a song, every time he executes the pop out, every time he executes something that went on during this battle, he executed it perfectly. Even when we talk about the 616 lyrical breakdown that really, made people question how Kendrick was approaching this rap battle. Right, when we think about all the tactics, all the strategy, all the moves on the chessboard, Kendrick has calculated and did this to the T. So we feel sorry for Drake a little bit. Our hearts go out to him because, he just got to stand there and take it. Because I don't think it would be best for his career for him to engage, one-on-one like he did at the very beginning. And he said, no, you got to follow through. And Kendrick is pretty much following through. And I get it, but this is the music industry. This is the music business. If you got a hit, you got to keep promoting it. You got to keep pushing it. I understand some people are getting tired of the song. I understand that some people are saying this is a pedophile song and y'all are dancing to it. I understand the Drake fans. I understand their cries, their tears. I wish I could give you a Kleenex and a cup of water so you could clear your throat. You wouldn't have so much snot in your throat from crying, from your nose being stopped up because all that snot's there. I wish I could give you some Mucinex, right? Because y'all are snotty nose, y'all are teary eyed, y'all are crying about everything that this man Kendrick is doing, and all he's doing is following through. Something that Drake told him to do. We talk about the red and blue bandanas on Not Like Us video. And it symbolizes the unity, the unison of the Compton, of the LA gangs, of the Crips, the Bloods, the Inglewoods, the Watts, the South Central. Right? And then you hear that song at the beginning, that West Coast vibe. Like it's a whole movie, and the West Coast is involved. It's just a celebration of the culture in LA. And I think Kendrick doesn't mind putting it on his shoulders. I don't think Kendrick minds carrying that weight, carrying that burden. He already put his people on that pop-out concert. It's going to be more that comes from it. Reincarnated, I'm a stargazer. Life goes on, I need all of my babies. Then we talk about the Boogeyman scene, certified Boogeyman, right? Drake, Dark Lane demo tapes. He got pushed back. He got bamboozled. He got vamoosed. He got Scorpion. Get over here, right? Then the push-up scene, right? The push-up scene. He was dressed like he was in jail. And especially when he was talking about Drake, the little sister line. Then the A minor, we got the hopscotch. Then we got the pinata, a kid's game at a birthday party. He was steady touring with Drake. He take him to Tam's Burgers. He took him to the hood. He was rapping with a French fry in his mouth, with his French fry in his hand. He was rapping while he was eating. He was really getting into it. He pulled up in the Lamborghini with DJ Mustard. DJ Mustard had the Toronto hat on. Like, it's a lot of symbolism in this video. TDE, they was together as a group. The big crowd, the big scene. It's just so many things like we can point out to and say why this video was great. Right? The family, Whitney, his daughter, his son. Then the owl in the cage. It's so many things that Kendrick and Dave Free carefully mastermind when they put this together. And then we talk about DeMar DeRozan, the storage containers, right? All white with the guys in black dancing in them. Right? What does that symbolize? You know what I'm saying? Could it symbolize an idea I heard, the export of black culture? Could it symbolize, human trafficking? It's really messy, right? It's really ugly. It's really nasty. And I'm not mad at Kendrick for following through because he's just appeasing the request that was made from Drake. And we feel sorry for Drake. We feel bad for Drake, but he got to take that shit on the chin. He got to take that shit like a soldier and keep marching forward. And if he can do what y'all said he could do, he need to produce hits. Camila Cabella, no, you can't escape. What going on, Delilah? No, you can't escape, bro. And I feel like you got to accept it. You got to deal with it. And it's just his songs, they're even harder to listen to. Like, I don't hear the passion anymore when I hear him rap. I don't hear the oomph. I don't hear like that same confidence in his voice when I hear him anymore, And I believe it's the remnants of the rap beef. It's the residue of what happened when he wanted to go toe-to-toe with Kendrick Lamar, Drake. You need a life jacket. You're out there in deep waters and you can barely swim. I hope we can throw you a life jacket so you can come back to shore, brother, because right now you're drowning. And not only are you drowning in the Not Like Us video, right? The Not Like Us song being played everywhere. You're drowning in your own ego. You're drowning in a mess that you created yourself. You're drowning in some of those self-inflicted wounds. And it's not Kendrick's fault. He's doing business as business should be conducted. He's following through. You got to think about the music industry. When you make a great song, you're going to make a music video. When you make a music video, you probably do a remix, right? And this going to keep on giving you that attention, giving you that, marketability. And from there, you drop the album. From there, you drop the song. He just continued riding the wave that, pretty much he created for himself. So I know that the Drake fans are mad. I know that some people are saying, damn, this is too much. But, like, if somebody asks for this, if they want your best shot and you knock their ass out, they can't jump up screaming assault. They can't jump up screaming, he sucker punched me. They can't jump up screaming, oh, he low blowed me. No, because you kicked them in the groin first. All right. So I think all of this is pretty much an aftermath of, Drake's, his ego, his arrogance, and just him getting too ahead of himself. And I could see some of the stress weighing on him. I could see some of the turmoil being heavy laden upon his shoulders. I could see that when he took that picture with Michael Rubin at the all-white party. He looked like he was about 15, 20 years older. He looked like his dad, Dennis Graham. Right? And let's talk about this all-white party. Because they saying this is the Illuminati party. Right? we got our woke friends. We got these guys that are conspiracy theorists out there. They saying that this is when all the people of the industry come together and do that nasty, freaky shit. This is the new Diddy party. Right? But instead of Diddy, it's being thrown by another billionaire. It's being thrown by Philadelphia 76ers owner Michael Rubin, if you didn't know who that was. Right? We talk about Glorilla and Meg. They attended this party, and it's funny because Meg and Drake kind of had like a little back and forth between each other. You go back and hear that middle of the ocean freestyle he did on Her Loss. Then you go back and then you hear, I believe it was Hiss or Cobra, and she was saying like these boys got more scars than women. And dang, to see them at the same party together. And then I saw Drake talking with Glorilla. Right? It seemed like they was a little bit chummy. Seemed like they was having an interesting conversation. So that's interesting, right? And to me, that just further points out the music industry, because Megan is really putting Glorilla underneath her wing. She's really showcasing her in a way to give her more visibility. She sings, she's doing these arena tours, and a man that's slick dissing your best friend in this industry, and you're being all chummy, all buddy with him, and you're not standing on business, and you're not keeping it A1. Or no, I didn't know him. Y'all had y'all thing, but I just want to know who he is. I want to know for myself. Right? Is that what it is? So, I mean, you know what this all white party is. I saw Drewski there, right? Funny man. It was a caption this of Drake trying to talk to him, right? Looking at him a little bit strange, looking at him a little bit funny, right? You saw Odell Beckham there, the fun guy. You saw Michael Part-Timesons, right? Because we know he's not a full-time football player. He cares about fame. He cares about his celebrity. And albeit, you don't have to make your identity of a football player, but you being a football player is the only reason why your voice is even echoed. Is the only reason why your platform, is being seen, is being heard. So sometimes he puts his team, in a bad position because of the things he says and the things that he does. And Malik Hooker already said, like, bro, stop doing the podcast and you need to be here for this damn run defense. Bro don't even know where he going. He's just running up field. He's not even holding the blocks. He lighting the booty. He getting his ass moved around. But we know Micah Parsons, he's going to be seen. He wants to be seen. He wants to be larger than life. And yes, he can sack. But when they really need him to make a play, sometimes he don't really come through. So, I mean, I guess it's just this new generation. And we saw Wayne. Saw that his hairline was looking a little bit better. Saw that his dreads were looking a little bit healthier. But he still looked like his soul was absent. And he did perform, so I could see if he was tired. I could see if his energy was drained. But we know through the drug abuse throughout the years, it has took a toll on Wayne's public image. And image, I mean just his look in the face. Body-wise, he looks healthy, but in the face, he looks a little bit older. He looks like he's aged 10 years. Somebody said he looks older than Birdman. Right? So, man, and Lil Baby's there. Meek Mill is there, right? They did a partnership, Mitchell and Ness. They did a partnership with Michael Rubin. And you can see in the picture that Meek Mill is carrying an NBA Finals trophy, right? And is that symbolic of Meek being the trophy of Michael Rubin? He gets with these billionaires. He gets with Robert Kraft. He gets with Michael Rubin. He gets with Hove. He gets with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And what do they get out of it? How do they get any recognition or any credit from associating with Meek? And I believe, if we want to be honest, his association with Meek is the reason these all-white parties have popped off like this. Because nobody knew of Michael Rubin. When he got with Meek Mill, and we understood or we acknowledged him in that hip hop culture as somebody helping a black man, avoid the pitfalls of the system, then we gave him a pat on the back. We gave him an arm around the shoulder, right? And he's leveraged that culture currency into these all white parties. And so I believe we can actually thank Meek Mill. We can actually thank Jay-Z as well because he was also pictured with them. He was also a known figure that was being seen with them in the public eyesight. And him and Beyonce has also attended these all white parties as well. So we could see how Michael Rubin is developing his culture currency because of some of these hip hop artists. And that's when I say is they're benefiting from the friendship of Meek Mill now, or is Meek Mill the only one that's benefiting? And I believe there is some reciprocation in this relationship. That's the only way to put it. You got Drake showing up, you got Wayne showing up, you got CJ Stroud, you got Donovan Mitchell, you got Drewski, you got these big names showing up to the party. Coco Jones, the lovely Coi Leray, nice slim yellow bone. You know what I'm saying? We got these public figures, these beautiful women, Kim K, right? Chloe. We got these women showing up to these all white parties and just enjoying each other. It seems like it's real fun. But that's the reason why they putting this Illuminati tag on it. That's the reason why they putting this freaky ass 69 God tag on it. And of course Drake gonna show up to some freaky shit. We know he's into that. But who knows what goes on, because last year the photos was looking kind of sus. Now it looks a little bit more serious. I think they learned from last year. Stop playing around. Stop being too funny in these pictures, because people gonna take it and distort it, right? So I don't know what this party is about. I don't know if it's just a party, a celebrity party of the who's who in the industry. It's invite only. We know that. So it's just curious to see what goes on behind the scenes of this party. And even regular parties, people be having sex in the bathroom. Even regular parties, people be doing some freaky shit that, the people that's in the mix, that's in the middle of the party might not even be aware of. And that's regular parties, you know what I'm saying? College parties, kickbacks, house parties, right? These things happen. Now you bring together a lot of people that have a lot of power, have a lot of money, and have a lot of options. So no telling what they can do and make people do for them, when there's a check involved. So I would just raise that question. But Drake did look back on that. He looked bad on that one picture, but if you saw him in the other pictures, he looked regular. So really, they just took a bad angle. And I think what they said, Drake is showing that he's not bothered. But it's ironic that he showed up at this all-white party on the same night that Kendrick Lamar released a Not Like Us video and stirred it up again, right? Hit the hornet's nest and got them, got them bees buzzing, right? And Meg Thee Stallion, she was there. She was there at the all-white party. But there's been a party of robots that's been going on, right? No Jumper reported that 30 million of her streams was being done by bots. So they took away 30 million streams of Megan Thee Stallion, right? Now she's on pace to do 65K in the first week sales. She's selling out arenas, right? When you add two and two together, it doesn't make sense. I just saw Meg on Amazon Prime commercial. Like the promotion and the money and the marketing that's going behind her and putting her out there, making her seen, giving her the spotlight. I really believe they're doing a good job, honestly. And, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win. Because we know Nicki Minaj did over 200K that first week. So for Megan to do less than that is pretty much showing that she's not on that level of Nicki Minaj. And it's a reason why she's not on that level. One, because she's not been in the game as long. Two, she's not as versatile as Nicki Minaj. And uh, three, I just believe she's not as relatable across the board. Because even a man can listen to some of Nicki Minaj's music and, jam to it. But man, I was listening to Megan Thee Stallion and she was very freaky. She was very feminine and what she wanted to convey on that album, Megan. And like I said, I think that's a great album. From all the music I heard from Meg, that was the best music I heard. I was talking to my friends that are women and they were saying, you didn't know Megan talked like that? You didn't know Megan was freaky like that? Where you been at? You must ain't really been listening to Megan. No, I ain't been listening to Megan because I'm a guy. I don't want to hear that popping pussy. I don't want to hear that selling that coon, that coont, that poo nanny. I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear you talking about how you gonna do a man, right? How you gonna take an advantage of him for his money? How you gonna play him? How you gonna do him? It's hard for me to get into. And when I heard that album, it was good to the ears, but in the spirit, it made me vibrate at a different frequency. It's like when you ring a bell and you hear the sound waves echoing through. Like when I heard that album, like my spirit was vibrating, like echoing. It just hit me in a way. It was like, like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be touched like that again, right? Because it was just so feminine and it was so freaky. It was over sexualized. And, 65K, I get it. But the fact that they're trying to really put her out there and this is really her music, like, you know what I'm saying? Over sexualization? Damn, we got to really think about that. Like, we got to think about our daughters. We got to think about our nieces. We got to think about our sisters. We got to think about our women and not just black women, women overall. Right? Because these women wanted to be treated with a respect. These women want to be seen in a certain light. These women want to be able to be in their soft era. Right? And we want to allow them to do that. But when they're not being respectful of their body, when they're not being respectful of their, their family, their man, when they're not being respectful. And who's to say it is respect? I mean, I don't know. But if you're doing whatever for your body, to your body, with your body, to come up on a check, to come up on some type of influence, and in the long run, it darkens your soul, then what did you really gain? In the long run, it makes you become a way that you wish that you never became, in a way that you regret, in a way that you feel bad about, you want forgiveness for, in a way where you just feel like you have sinned and fallen short of the glory. If you doing it and that's the price to pay for it, and to be honest, that's a big price. That's hefty. And I feel for the women. I feel for the women children that are having to navigate through that, especially when they don't have a great understanding on what this is, right? Because this is adults only content, right? This is basically porno music. It's no other way to slice it. You know what I'm saying? 69 Boys. Uncle Luke, when he was back in this day, Too Short, when they was talking about they pimping stuff back in the day, this is crazy. This is the over-sexualization. And the fact that they pushing this message and they pushing it up on these little girls, right? To me, it reflects something that should be of a deeper concern. So y'all got to think about it, people. Think about it as a culture. Because not only is these dudes talking about killing, not only are these dudes talking about selling drugs or taking drugs, not only are these dudes talking about extorting people, taking advantage of women, you know what I'm saying? Disrespecting their bodies. Not only are these people over sexualizing women, not only are these women talking about using their body for money, using their body to get over, to take advantage, to manipulate, to what I'm saying, to trick people into getting what they want. Like, think about what think about what's being portrayed. Think about what messages are being conveyed. Like, so it's not just the men, that the boys that got to deal with it. It's the women, it's the girls as well. And 65K, damn, I'm not mad at that, because if it was 200K, if it was 300K people listening to that album on the first week, then I would say, damn, society, we kind of gotta really look within. And nothing wrong about Megan as a rapper. I think she's a great rapper. I think she can rap. I just think it's more to life, right? And when you only doing a pussy rap, then you take away so many other elements of life. You take away so many other people that can relate to other different things. So you can't really cultivate your fan base just making hot girl summer music. You got to cultivate your fan base by talking to the individual, talking to the person that has those regular things that's going on in real life, not just sex problems, not just breakup problems with the man, you know what I'm saying? Not just agreements or disagreements, you know what I'm saying? But just a little bit more content, a little bit more substance than that. And I believe that's the problem when we talk about that music. And so what's recently been going on is, because we from the South, right? We from the South. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I'm from Waco, Texas. But Texas, Louisiana, Florida, you know what I'm saying? Like, we fuck with the South. And what's been going on is the Hot Boys, right? The Hot Boy reunion. And what happened recently at the Essence Fest is the Hot Boys performed, right? And when the Hot Boys performed, it was only Birdman, Juvie, BG, and Manny Fresh. Wayne didn't perform with them, but Wayne did come out after them and did a 20-minute set. And basically, Birdman was kind of saying, like, if if Birdman basically called Wayne a pussy nigga. Birdman, he was like, I wouldn't ever let no pussy nigga make me let my city down. And it harkens back to Turk, right? And if you recall in the Turk interviews that he did with Vlad TV, and if you just know the Hot Boy history, Turk and Wayne was the best of friends, right? Because Juvie was older. BG, he had other stuff going on, but him and Turk was real tight. They really broke bread together, and they really did a lot of things together. And this Hot Boy reunion was going to exclude him. And since this Hot Boy reunion was going to exclude him, Wayne didn't want any part of the reunion. And for Birdman to come out and say, I wouldn't let no pussy nigga make me let my city down, like, to me, that's disappointing in Birdman. Because Birdman is 50 plus, maybe getting close to 60. And you're talking about maturity. You're talking about a level of wisdom. You're talking about a level of experience. And if you can't be old enough and be wise enough to put your differences aside to really bring greatness together, to bring that collective together, then how can you lead? How can you be a great leader? As far as business strategy, as far as business tactics, as far as how you run your office, your corporation, Birdman has also had some issues between him and his artists about that as well. And we get it. It's the rap industry. If I put money for you, I need to get some money back. And that's just how business works. But Birdman, you got to understand, if every member is alive and every member needs to feed their family, we talking about BG. He did 11 years. We talking about Turk. He did damn near 13 years. We talking about, I think, 8 years. He did Tom. They did Tom. We talking about people that did multiple years incarcerated, and they get out and they need to feed their family. Sometimes they might do whatever, say whatever, especially if you haven't done anything to help them, right? And we talk about Terrence Gangsta Williams, right? Terrence Gangsta Williams pretty much said he snitched. Terrence Gangsta Williams is supposed to be Birdman's brother or half brother. And basically he was saying he told on a dead man so he could actually get out of prison. He told on the man that was dead, right? He violated. I guess it's the street code, but damn, he didn't want to rot in jail. And, you know, we looking at this street culture, we looking at this type of angle, and that may be the reason. I don't know what Turk did. I don't know what Turk said that was so upsetting, but he wasn't going to be considered in this Hot Boy reunion. And when Wayne was also asked about, you know, he was also asked about the album, he was like, he don't know. He didn't, that's the first time he heard about it. He said, if they cooking up, I ain't been to that kitchen. They ain't told me about what's going on in that kitchen. So Wayne is basically denying all the rumors that there is a Hot Boys album coming up. And then pretty much he's standing on business. He's putting his foot down saying, if y'all ain't going to include Turk, then I'm not going to be a part of this. Because we all know that Turk got family to feed. He been in jail for a long time, right? He needs money. He needs to be able to make a living for himself, right? And albeit he was on drugs, he was spiraling, he was out of control. He did some things as a youngin' he probably wish he could take back. But this is something that he got to deal with. He got to face. And so right now, of course, he's trying to repair those relationships if he can. But Birdman, to leave him out there hanging, you know, with no support system. And, you know, his whole ties to the game is through Cash Money, right? So if it's on some street shit, bro, like, these guys is 40 plus now. Like, just let it go. But the thing is, Birdman, you're pushing 60 and you still don't have the wisdom. And Slim, why don't you talk to him? Manny, why don't you talk to him? Juvie, BG, why don't you talk to him? Because he's letting his pride get in the way of celebrating these gentlemen like they need to be celebrated. He's letting his pride get in the way of our true aspirations for the South, for Louisiana, the neighbors of Texas. We grew up on the Hot Boys. We grew up on Back That Ass Up. We grew up on Baller Blocky. We grew up on High. You know what I'm saying? We grew up on Block on Fire. We grew up on Block is Hot. Block is Hot. We grew up on Bling Bling. Every time I come around, y'all say they bling bling. Pink ink ain't worth about 50 bling bling. We grew up on this music, bro. And you mean you gonna take this away from us because of your ego? You pushing 60 and you not wise enough to know that these men need to all be together, to collaborate together to make this work. If you can't see the vision, if you can't put your ego aside, if you can't put your pride to the side to give the fans what they need, what they want, what they deserve, what these men need to feed their families, to support and provide for the people around them, if you can't put your ego and pride to the side for that, then how are you a leader? Like Rick Ross said, I looked up to Stunner. I thought Stunner was that dude. But when I got close to him, I realized he ain't really, you know, what he makes himself out to be, a good businessman, albeit we can't deny that. But just because you know how to make money, it does not mean you know how to lead men. BG, jail. Turk, jail. Juvie left Cash Money. Manny left Cash Money. Wayne stayed. He left Cash Money, wanted to leave Cash Money, gave you Young Money. And you mean you can't honor this man's request? Come on, Bird, man. What happened to that boy? So, man, it's just sad, bro. It's just sad. And I guess that's all I'm going to talk about. You know, we talked about everything. I made a couple videos about the Rick Ross situation. I didn't like that. I didn't like that for Ross. I didn't like him putting himself in that compromising situation. And I know he doesn't control what the DJ plays. But to get that close to a fan, I don't believe that was smart. And the boss has always made smart moves. Rick Ross has always moved with strategic motion. Rick Ross has always been intentional about what he does and what he says. He's a marketing genius. And you put your ignorance on display. You put some of your arrogance on display. And pride comes before the fall. And this looked bad on him. Right? I don't know if he got punched. I don't know if he got a drink thrown at him, whatever. Something physically happened to him. And something physical happened to his soldiers, his security. He not only endangered himself, but he endangered them more because they're fighting to protect him. And his actions, you know, caused them to be assaulted, caused them to be hurt. I don't care how big that man was. We all bleed. Right? And I just didn't like it. I thought Rick Ross was smarter than that. I know he's smarter than that. And I didn't like the way he moved. Right? Like, just stop letting your arrogance make you ignorant. Stop letting your ego, you know, think you're the exception of the rule. Because every place got a ghetto. Every place got a hood. Every place got men. And one thing about men have pride too. Men have ego too. Men have testosterone. Right? Men are alpha. And some men are not scared. Right? They gonna test those boundaries. And I just believe you put yourself in a compromising situation. And it just looked bad, especially how you skedaddled out of there. And Ross is one of my favorite rappers. You know, he's in my personal top 10. And I just didn't like this for him. He was trying to lean into trolling Drake, and he got leaned on. And I just believe it was sad. And, you know, it's cool to showcase some of your losses and showcase some of your wins as well. So everything is not a highlight tape. And I believe this also sets an example for others coming towards those Canadian borders that's on that on that shit. So Rick Ross, prayers to you and to your staff, your security. Prayers to everyone that was at that all-white party. That booty hole might not be as tight when they walk out. And shout out to Kendrick Lamar, man. Independent from TDE. You know, the blueprint, the IP is all me. I get up and mop feet. Right? So, dang. There's a lot of symbolism in that Not Like Us video. So, y'all check that out, man. But it's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son, it's your kinfolk. William Jewell. Giving you my detail as I articulate. This is articulating. Rap, rap, rap.